I've used a lot of smartphones this year, but none that looks like this. This is the HMD Fusion. Let's talk about it. Without a doubt, the first thing that people notice with this phone is its unique design. When I unboxed this phone, it had a clear case on it. I took the case off because I like using my phones without one, but as soon as I did, I was left shocked and a little bit confused. I could see screws, I could see what looked like the battery. It felt like it was missing the back cover, but no, that's just its design. It's unique and would definitely get people talking. Now, I've seen some people say that they don't like this design, and I actually didn't at first. But with time and with the case that it comes with, I think it looks pretty good. It kind of looks like the phone is see-through, which is pretty cool. But that's just me. Maybe you guys should let me know what you think of its design in the comments. The HMD Fusion comes in a thin black box. Inside it, you'll find the phone, some paperwork, a SIM ejector tool, and a USB-C to USB-C cable. Oh, I almost forgot, there's also a transparent phone case included in the box. HMD is calling this the Transparent Fusion Casual Outfit. So they're not calling this a case, but an outfit. If you go on their website, you'd find more of these outfits. There are the casual outfits, they come in different colors. There's the rugged outfit, there's the gaming outfit, and then my personal favorite, the flashy outfit. It's like having a ring light attached to your phone case. So you might not get a ton of accessories in the box. You don't get a charging adapter or wired earphones, but there are a ton of really cool and useful accessories, or should I say outfits, that you can get. I checked to see if I could get some, for the review, but unfortunately, as of right now anyway, it's not available in Nigeria. One more thing I want to talk about is why this phone is designed this way. So you know how we can see screws at the back of this phone? Well, those screws are actual screws. If you go ahead and unscrew those screws, you would get access to the back of this phone. So this phone is designed to be really easy to repair. So if your battery gets spoiled, if your screen gets broken, if you want to change the charging port, instead of paying someone to go do it, you could actually buy the parts that you need from HMD's website, unscrew the screws, and do those repairs yourself, theoretically. Now that sounds cool and interesting and great, but kind of like the outfits, the parts are not available here in Nigeria. So depending on where you live, this might be like a really cool feature that you're looking forward to, or it could just be a really cool feature that you don't have access to just yet. Now earlier, I mentioned that we don't get wired earphones, but we do get a headphone jack. It's at the bottom of the phone. Glad to see it's still there. Next to the headphone jack is one of the two mics on this phone, and that is next to the USB-C port, and then next to the only speaker on this phone. Here's what it sounds like. For biometrics, we get face and fingerprint unlock. The fingerprint sensor is on the right side of the phone underneath the volume buttons. Yes, it also doubles as the power button. It's fast, it's accurate, nothing to complain about. On the left side of the phone though, you'd find the SIM and SD card tray. It's a hybrid tray, so you kind of have to choose between having 2 physical SIM cards and no SD card, or 1 physical SIM card and 1 SD card. Now I kept saying physical SIM cards because this phone has eSIM support. So in the end, you can actually have 2 SIM cards and still have an SD card. It's just that one SIM would be physical and the other SIM would be digital. Not that many phones have eSIM support at this price, so it's nice to see. Another nice to see is its IP54 rating. The Fusion isn't water resistant, but it can survive water splashes from any direction. I was a bit scared to test this out because of how bare this phone looks, but I did, and the phone was fine. What isn't fine though is this phone's display. That's the one and probably only thing I don't like about this phone. The HMD Fusion has a 720p 90Hz IPS LCD display. If this phone had an AMOLED display and the same other specs, it probably would have been fine. But the fact that it's LCD, 720p, and still 90Hz just doesn't look great on paper and in the real world. Now I know that there are some people that might not even be able to tell the difference between LCD and AMOLED or 720p and 1080p, but I feel like people spending, 400k on a smartphone would be able to tell the difference. They definitely should have given us a 1080p AMOLED display, at least. But yeah, if you can get past that, I think the display is okay. It's just fine. It's sharp to an extent and the colors are pretty accurate. So if you're just focused on what you're watching or what you're doing on your phone, you would have no complaints. I could also complain about the bezels on here. That chin is pretty thick, but for some reason it doesn't bother me as much. Probably because I'm more focused on the display itself. I know I said this before, but they really should have given us a 1080p AMOLED display. One thing they did give us that I really liked is a Snapdragon processor. The HMD Fusion uses the Snapdragon 4 Gen 2 processor. It also comes with 12 gigs of RAM. So we get a powerful and efficient processor and still get 12 gigs of hardware RAM. So you already know, performance is spot on. You can do all the multitasking you would want to do, apps open quickly. The entire phone just feels pretty quick. That's why I didn't really complain that this doesn't come with a 120Hz refresh rate, because the display, even though 90Hz, felt really fluid. Like I never for once felt like this phone was slow. For gaming, I did play the new Asphalt Legends Unite and FC Mobile, and they both played well. FIFA Mobile played at medium graphics settings and medium frame rate, and the gameplay was smooth. That's also what I saw when I looked at other reviews of this phone. Most games played best at medium graphics settings. While I was testing how well it games, I was also testing its battery life. Because you know, the 4 Gen 2 is supposed to be really efficient. 30 minutes of gaming took 5% of this phone's battery. And when you do the math, that's almost 10 hours of screen on time if you're gaming non-stop. That's like an hour and a half more than most other phones with a 5000 mAh battery. So yeah, the battery life on the Fusion is really good. It would last a whole day and then some for most people. For charging, this supports up to 33 watts, which is cool. But if you remember, no charging adapter, so you have to go buy one yourself. The last thing to talk about would be its cameras. On the rear, we get a dual camera setup, a 108 megapixel main camera, and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Then on the front, we get a 50 megapixel selfie camera. I've taken a bunch of pictures with it, and yeah, I actually really like the cameras. Occasionally, it did take a while to process the photos, but once it was done with that, you get photos that look like this. They're sharp, colors look good, skin tones most of the time were spot on. I really liked it. If I were to complain though about its cameras, I would talk about the lack of options. Like there's no telephoto lens or an ultra-wide lens. It's really just that main camera. But there is 3x lossless optical zoom, which looks really good actually, so maybe that's fine. Okay, so this is what the front-facing camera looks like on the HMD Fusion. It's currently blazing hot, so how does the video quality look like? I can see a bit of stabilization, so let me know what you guys think of it down in the comments.
Nah, God. Because I'm saying no. I say for in mind, waiting in read now 1 o'clock.
But once the program starts,
Then 4. Then head of marketing.
So that's the HMD Fusion. When it comes to the basics, I think this does really well, except for its pretty mid display. Its performance is really good, its battery life is really good, its cameras are really good. And then it has a couple tricks up its sleeve with the outfits that you could potentially buy. And it's easy to repair design. Oh, and this might not mean much to most people, but I really like its close to stock Android look. I'm a fan of its UI. The Fusion would also be getting 2 years of major OS updates. It's an Android 14 now and is expected to get Android 15 and Android 16. Like I said I would do in my previous review video, these are my ratings of the HMD Fusion. I think its performance, battery, and cameras are its highlights. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of it down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you when you see me.